Hello everybody, my name is Elenator and we are back with SunnySide Magic High The End, Chapter 12, Episode 22, Once Upon a Time. So generic. Flame Star, Sarah, and Sebastian walk into the Castle of Heroes. Castle of Heroes is a proper noun. Doop doop doop. Bearing determined expressions. Pretty sure you said that just because of me. Flame swiftly walks toward the Table of Heroes. Your capitalization is all inconsistent. Table of Heroes, we need answers, now! My gosh. The Table of Heroes sighs. I know. What do you mean you know? Never mind, all he does is think. Star is frustrated. No, no more vague answers. No more ominous responses to questions we've been asking for years. Y'all have been asking him questions for years? No more riddles. Nothing. We want the truth. Flame nods. I didn't know y'all visited him this often. Star and I were in this dream realm, and we learned what happened to King Paragon. And we know all about Kista Zed, your daughter. Star stomps her foot. We demand that you tell us everything, the whole story. It's two different thoughts. All of a sudden, a huge storybook appears. I didn't know storybook was one word, but now I know. Star is confused. What's this? The Table of Heroes responds. The full story. That's what it is. Star gulps and opens the book with hesitance. She starts to read. It's a very detailed book. Is that the table? Once upon a time. Oh, that's a whole different typeface. Once upon a time there was a world. This world was called Androlum. I hope I said that right. I'll be corrected later. Androlum was a world consisting of mere mortals, and magic wasn't even a thing. One day, one of the stars in the sky grew. That's not good. It's gonna rain down and it's gonna burn up the planet. And grew, and even glowed different colors from time to time. Scientists looked closer into it, but they couldn't make any sense of what was going on. That'd be concerning. After a full year of this star glowing and growing, one day it just exploded. That's a supernova. Boom! From the explosion, a creature was born. What? Well, the star was there to begin with. I don't know. This is magic. Just ignore it. Something that wasn't quite human. It bared wings and something new. Magic. I guess boar is probably what it should be. I don't know. Do do do. This creature was called a totem, and now we know. That first totem was called the angel totem. Oh, and now we know. The star's explosion, along with the totem's birth, was what brought magic to this world. It was the angel totem's job to keep this world's magic in check. The more magic was being used by humans, the more variety there was. What if there's also, diversity comes with time? It was hard for the angel totem to keep track of all this magic in check all by himself, so he created two other totems, the good totem and the bad totem. Oh, why'd you purposefully create a bad one? Let's read and find out. The good totem's job was to keep all magic generated by positivity and happiness in check, whereas the bad totem's job was to keep all magic generated by sadness and anger in check. Back then, magic created by sadness and anger wasn't really anything too bad. Unlike, computer viruses back in the 80s. They were more, annoying and, kind of comedic, whereas now they can be harmful and stuff. It was the 80s, right? Probably. Maybe I'm thinking early 90s. 80s might be too soon. Um, do do do. It was normal, and it wasn't considered what we know today as dark magic. The more time went by, the more the angel totem grew fascinated with humans. Why does this sound so recent? But then again, he said, how long ago? Just said once upon a time. Man, this guy's old. Um, he loved their traditions and how they grow up, change, and learn new things all the time. One fine day, the angel totem met a woman named Rosianna, and he fell in love with her. Now we know. Actually, we kind of pieced that together last time. Um, the feeling of love was so new to him. It was a feeling that he had never thought he'd be able to express. Well, at least this guy got busy when he was born. He had a lot of stuff to do. Um, but it made him happy, and that's all that mattered to him. After some time, Rosianna and the angel totem got married, and it was revealed that Rosianna was with child. With a child? Probably. That might need a manual review. Um, I think I'll keep. I see what you're going. It's just the wording's kind of throwing me off. I'm gonna keep it as is though. But I do understand. The angel totem was ecstatic. Totally didn't butcher that the first time. It had always been his dream to become a father to a human child. How long has it been this guy's dream? Although he was happy, he was still worried about the consequences of a human totem child. Nevertheless, it was the last thing on his mind. A few months later, Rosianna gave birth to their beautiful daughter, whom they named Kista. The angel totem was eager to do all the things that fathers do with their daughters. So you seriously just left good totem, bad totem take all your work because now you got to be a family man. Man, this guy, I know who he becomes, but at this state I'm already not liking him. Do playing together, spending time with one another, and even one day walking his daughter down the aisle on her wedding day. I don't think that part ever happened. After their first week with their daughter, they started to notice some differences between her and normal human babies. For one, she had a single wing and she could fly. How do you fly with one wing? Does it go left and right? Is it okay, never mind. Is it just magic and that's the ability to fly? Does she lose her wing? How? Um, she also had access to magic naturally, and even when she was young, she was quite the powerhouse. Is that hyphenated or one word? It's one word, now we know. But even with all these quirks, the angel totem and Rosianna loved her unconditionally. I would hope so. Kista had a good childhood, and things were going well. Sorry, but she often felt left out by her human friends and family, whereas she always felt underestimated by the other totems. Okay, did he ever end up making more totems, or was there still only two? Oh, it is only one, and it does stick out to the side. Interesting. Wonder if that would be painful. Painful as in only having one. Um, she didn't know who she was and what role she played. The more she grew, the worse things got. People at her school started treating her badly and making fun of her for her quirks. At first, she just dealt with it, but soon it became more and more of an issue. She started getting them back by using magic on them. I feel like that would be against school rules. Oh my gosh, I just now realized he is all pale and stuff. As in, overall design, all grays. This is an olden picture. Remember, Wise Kid said he slipped one time saying, I look, um, I looked like Table of Heroes human form. I was like, well, you shouldn't have said that. So now we know. You were right. I know I still have that somewhere, as with, a lot of stuff. Um, at first, it was just little things, like a pinch. How do you use magic to pinch someone? Don't you just use your fingers for that? But the more angry she got, the more aggressive she became. Probably should be angrier. Um, she would sometimes go as far as severely hurt her classmates. She should be suspended for that. Her parents weren't happy with this, but they didn't know what they could have done to help Kista. Homeschool. She'd cry herself to sleep every night thinking of how much trouble she'd be in with the teachers the next day. She'd think about what her so-called friends would say behind her back. After a few years, Kista's parents were able to reassure her and help her, but they couldn't stop the people of the village from treating her badly. Is this the first time they said village? Maybe. I guess we never got an area. One day, the angel totem started heading to a totem meeting. Just now thinking about how this whole totem stuff started with this one guy. Kista saw this as an opportunity to be more involved with totem business, now that she was older and much more powerful. I'm gonna dismiss that. Actually, should be capital though. Consistency. Well, it said it's capital there, it's capital here. Dismiss that. That day, the angel totem and Kista got into a huge fight about why Kista can't go, and Kista was done with it. She was done with all of it. She finally exploded. Everything she bottled up was let out. In that moment, she created something horrible. She created dark magic. Her father knew how bad this was and tried to stop her, but the darkness consumed Kista. All this stuff just popping up out of nowhere. She turned her father into a table and absorbed the majority of his magic. Minor recap. It was from that day where she was finally recognized as a totem. She was known as the Totem of Darkness. So much darkness. The angel totem was worried Kista would hurt her mother, Rosiana, so he sent a letter to the good totem telling him to protect Rosiana at all costs. Oh my gosh, that's starting to remind me of way back early in the series, very early. Um, I'm trying to remember. I know what I was gonna say. Um, so what can he do as a table? Can he like move his legs? Can he hobble around? Because somehow he was able to send a letter. I don't know how, but oh well. Um, do do do. The good totem thought that the only way Rosiana would be able to properly defend herself was with magic, and she didn't have any. So the good totem thought that there was only one thing he could do. He had to turn her into a totem. How's this gonna work? Somehow, the good totem was able to turn Rosiana, a human, into a totem. You gonna tell us that somehow? Even though she wouldn't be officially considered one. Oh, that was supposed to be a statement. Don't end high pitched. Um, the good totem then told Rosiana to hide underground. She followed his orders in order to protect herself. Kinda, um, just saying order twice. um, the good totem told Rosiana that he would come back and that he would tell her when she can come back out. She nodded and said that she'd wait as long as it takes. Yeah, I'll dismiss that. I like it there. While Kisto was on her rampage, she found the good totem and the bad totem, and they fought. Not sure how I feel about the wording for that. She was determined to make sure everyone knew that she was superior to them, and she did. She managed to knock them down. She then stole all of their memories and turned them into dolls. Miniature figures of themselves, you could say. Flashback to Kid Moza. Kista went on to do more horrible things, and she spread magic all across the world. This is an interesting storybook. Kista was the cause of the demise of many, many people. To help spread darkness and to make sure things got a lot faster, or make things go a lot faster, she created many clones of herself. 1 million, in fact, but only a tenth of them survived. Man, only 10% of a certain population survives? That's called, you're doing it wrong. The problem was they had free will, but that didn't affect her too much. She knew exactly how to intimidate them. She had practically become an expert manipulator. With the little magic he had left, the angel totem in his table form decided that there needed to be a team of heroes who could fight dark magic and keep the world safe from Kista. Sorry, big yawn. He realized that he needed people who understood the dangers of dark magic to help him and train these heroes. He went searching and searching until he found 2 young girls, sisters, turned into unicats by their own mother. And that's where they come from. No, I'm gonna add that to dictionary. Um, he figured that they would understand how it feels to have a loved one be absorbed with the intense desire for power, and offered them the job. I wonder when you came up with all this stuff. There's no way this is all planned out when the start of season 1, episode 1. But this is very in depth as to where everyone comes from. Do 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 do. They accepted, and he took them in and gave them a new home. How does how does this guy do so much when he's a table? How does he do this? He used the last of his magic to find them. Oh well. This is another reason why I don't like him. And now I don't like him even more, because it's all his fault. He made Kista angry. Um, do 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 do. These 5 heroes were able to do lots of good, and they saved many people. But when they tried to battle Kista Zed, she was too powerful. You're still not saying where the Zed part comes from, because all this time you're saying Kista, and then by the time the 5 heroes are formed, then the Zed part is added. Who knows? I almost think Kista Alpha would be better. The beginning instead of the end. Then again, it's not Kista Omega. Kista A. It sounds too basic. Kista A. um, and she killed them. The angel totem knew that the heroes couldn't stay forever, so he put a plan in place to keep the heroes going for however long it takes for dark magic to be eradicated. This guy, oh my gosh, he's doing so much. He started this, but he's got a plan to end it. Gotta give, I'll give him a point for that, because this was his own fault, and so he started the whole path to end it. So, I'll give him that, but that's the only thing I'm gonna give him, because things would be a lot nicer if he didn't start it to begin with. Do do do. He set a system in place that selects 5 heroes every 100 years. Why so much time into place, and why only 5? He knew that he had to keep the 2 sisters alive somehow to train the generations, so with their permission, he was able to grant them immortality. Well, until, they were no longer needed. Centuries later, magic started evolving. Man, all these people are so old and we just don't realize it. For some, it became natural and was passed down from their ancestors. The people of every village decided that the people with magic would be the ones in charge. Of course, give the ones with the most power to be at the top of the food chain. That never ends well. Um, that's when kingdoms were formed based on the magic type of each family. Some examples would be the Water Kingdom, the Motion Kingdom, etc. It's like clans forming together. Then, time passes and those clans become villages, become kingdoms, and all that jazz. Thousands of years later, there was a war. The war was between the magical kingdom and some other surrounding kingdoms. Man, you have beef against several kingdoms. What'd you guys do? The king of the magical kingdom at the time, King David, had two sons and one daughter. The eldest son, Joshua, next in line to become king, was born with a lack of proper magical abilities. He could still do the things that normal people of the kingdom could do, but he didn't have proper royal magic. It never got passed down to him. Nevertheless, his father loves him just as much. Joshua's younger brother, Prince Paragon, would often get jealous of Joshua. Hold up, did the name change? I might be crazy. Hold on, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going before I say something. He knew that his father loved Joshua more than anything. He knew that even though he had so much more power than Joshua, he still wouldn't get to be king. He would have tried to talk to his mother about it, but she was always just so caught up with. I am so sorry. I did not mean to yawn in the middle of that sentence. Out of oxygen, probably. Too much talking. Um, he would have tried to talk to his mother about it, but she was always just so caught up with his sister, Aurora. Like that's named after someone I know. Unless the name came first. One day, Kista appeared, sensed that Paragon was the perfect vessel for dark magic. Wait, appear. Hold up. Ah, I'm gonna take out appeared because I think sensed is the better term, and and since it was second, I'm gonna assume it's the one you were going for. Oh, never mind. Make up your mind. I don't think Grammarly was designed for 100 something pages. Um, she saw immense potential for dark magic in him, so she took him under her wing. She manipulated him and created a monster from him. Okay, so if this is the same Paragon, last chapter, it wasn't Joshua, I'm pretty sure it was Eric. I know because I read that. I'm gonna need to fix that. Unless you like Joshua better. Then I'll leave that to you, wise kid. Um, do 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 do. Oh yeah, ignore that. 76. Then again, don't even know how much more is after this. Um, do 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 do. She told him just how easy it was to get all he wants with all that power. She taught him that he could just get rid of all his problems. He could become king. Having flashbacks to when, season 5, whatever, The Darkest Soul, how was the entire description of King Paragon, the amount of people he killed in one day. I said in my reaction for that, I was like, who cleans up the messes? Because, like, killing people all over the place, it's gonna get very, very dirty, to say the least. It's not even dirt, it's other stuff. The remains of humans. So who cleans up all the remains? And then I think the answer was there's like specific person or whoever cleans up after all of King Paragon's killings. Eventually, Paragon killed his brother, mother, and father, but unfortunately his sister got away. That's a list. Leave a comma at the one before the and. She ran off. It didn't matter to him. Deep, deep down, Paragon did care for his sister. Why? I didn't know he cared about anyone other than himself. So he spared her life. She was probably one of the only lives he spared. Paragon tortured many souls and caused lots of chaos. Hey, Rico Rodriguez causes chaos too. This era was known as the Era of Darkness. It wasn't just a bad time for the magical kingdom. Paragon's reign made it bad for everyone, which makes sense why wars happen and stuff. Dark magic was spreading fast thanks to him, and Kista was proud. After 200 years of Paragon's reign, how do these people just live for hundreds of years? He felt he was getting rusty and decided that he needed a replacement, just in case he was gone. Ooh. Yeah, dismiss that. Someone who was able to spread darkness among others just as he was able to do. Oops. He met a strange woman, Vortexa, and they had a child. It's a woman. He cast a spell on her and essentially created his perfect replacement. He named her Bloodhound. About 15 years later, 5 new heroes rose. Should it be Rose or a Rose? I feel like a Rose. More proper tense. It was revealed that his sister was still alive, somehow, and that those heroes were her children. Aha! The heroes of the generation were her children. What a coincidence, wouldn't you say? Destiny, am I right? Do you want to keep that in? That's all italicized. I'll keep it in. Badoots. With their strength, together, the 5 of them were actually able to defeat King Paragon. They were able to end the era of darkness. They didn't know who or what Bloodhound was, but they were afraid she was dangerous. Well, she was, but then she wasn't. They tried turning her into what she is on the inside, but what that spell did was it turned her into a negative emotion. Don't you hate being made into a negative emotion? And without knowing, the heroes had no idea that they essentially cursed the next king and queens of the magical kingdom with a little bit of dark magic in them. The eldest, Austin, became the next king of the magical kingdom, and the era of peace began. Interesting how they name, well, I guess naming eras is easier than just, adding one to every year. After some time and many generations of heroes, the darkness started to rise more and more. Oh my gosh, not again. I gotta stop it. I'm tired. It's been a long week. It's been a long 2 weeks. This is my first time, actually rested today. After some time and many generations of heroes, the darkness started to rise more than ever. Man, Table of Heroes, whatever you plan you did, you didn't make a very good one. This could have been done so much better. Then again, I shouldn't be complaining unless I have a solution. When I'm done with this, when it's all over, I'm gonna make a video titled SunnySide Magic High, a retrospective review. And it's gonna be like all the things I went wrong and all the things I could have been done right, and all this other fun jazz. I'm looking forward to that. Do 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 do. It was time for the final generations of heroes. 5 babies were born on April 8th, the era of adventure, year 1. Ah, so they were supposed to be the final ones. Their names were Zane, Astrid, Azaria, Kenzo, and Derek. They fought bravely and did many important things. So important that we're not going to say what they are here. But they were even able to build a school for royals with magic to have control. Oh yeah, they started Sunnyside Magic High. It was finally time that they finished things off. They stood against Kista Zed, and they fought her as much as they could, but her power was too much for them. In the end, Kista Zed was able to defeat them. She was so happy that she had finally been able to stop generations of heroes. But before she killed them, they announced something. Quick pause. So, what has the Table of Heroes been doing all this time? Actually, once the castle was all set up and all this jazz, does he need nourishment or does he just think? I think he just thinks. Um, yeah, he didn't do anything to change his plan after generation of heroes. They fought, and then Kista Zed was like, "I'm gonna end you," and they were ended. And then one last generation, Kista Zed's like, "I'm gonna end you," and they were like, "Yes, you're gonna end us, but before you do, do 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 do." They told her that there would be another generation of heroes. There was a mistake. Kista Zed was very angry and killed them in an instant. Still doesn't say how. She used as much dark magic to figure as much as she could about the future. She studied the next five and made sure she knew exactly what would destroy them. If you knew who these people are, why didn't you kill them, before they could do anything? Kill them when they were like, two. Pretty sure pretty sure a bunch of 2-year-olds can't stop you. Um About 95 years later. Wait, if it was every 100 years, does that mean they were only 5? Hold up. Or is it like every 100 years after the last generation? They could live to be like 25 or something, or 18 or whatever, and then 100 years after them. This, I'm thinking about taking back my point to the Table of Heroes just because this plan wasn't. It could have been more efficient. Oh well. Um. Sure, why not? About 95 years later, on July 17th, the era of Wonder Year 1, the true last generation of heroes were born. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's Night 6 is the last night. Totally not a custom night, no, never. It was definitely a special day in history. 5 royals born on the exact same day. What a coincidence. Destiny, am I right? Nudge, nudge. Flame from the Water Kingdom. I know. Frost from the Ice Kingdom. Star from the Magical Kingdom. Sarah from the Nature Kingdom. And Sebastian from the Motion Kingdom. They grew up just like many other heroes, not knowing their true destinies. Eventually, all 5 of them were sent to Sunnyside Magic High. They became the best of friends and really started to get a good grasp on their magical abilities. They learned a whole lot about themselves too. One of those things being that Flame and Frost are actually brothers. That's an entire story in of itself. Oh my goshness. Man, time flies. I'm having all these Minecraft flashbacks from when I first watched this series. Can't believe that was already, over a year ago. Think about rewatching it once this is all over. Watch the first 5 seasons. Um, do, 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 do. A few months after they came to Sunnyside Magic High, it was revealed to them that they are the heroes of this generation. Was that really only a few months? I thought they didn't show up till like season 3 or something. I don't know. They met Miss Unicat and Unikitty, and they trained. They were able to defeat many forces of darkness. Do do do. They found the good totem and the bad totem. The bad totem was corrupt, so they had to get rid of him. I mean, logically, yes, it makes sense. It's just the way it's worded. Oh boy. That should be there. But they were able to help the good totem start a new life. He met Volcania, a redeemed villain, and they fell in love. That make no, because he's full totem. Yeah, it would be another half and half. Never mind. Kista Zed was intrigued with all this unnecessary space, but she decided to watch from the sidelines. She learned more about them. She took note of their strengths and weaknesses. On their 18th birthday, the five of them discovered that they were the last heroes, and Kista Zed decided it was time. Beginning the start of Season 6. It was time for her to eradicate all the heroes that there ever were. She brought back many foes that they had faced, and she even brought back King Paragon. The five heroes were worried, but they started to gain confidence. Sadly, one of them, Frost, betrayed the rest. That was a sneeze this time. I just realized Frost is the first hero to have betrayed the cause. Man, another inefficient. Well, Table of Heroes tried. He just didn't do good enough. And this put all their plans to a halt. They wouldn't they would have never expected that their friend would just leave them. Well, after all the abuse he had, it's understandable why he wanted to try something new. Frost was able to find the light once more, and in an attempt to save his friends, he sacrificed himself. He realized what his destiny truly was as the Protector. As the final battle approaches, we wait, and we have hope that maybe, just maybe, dark magic can be stopped once and for all. Well, if they're the last heroes, you would hope darkness is stopped, because if they're the last heroes, darkness isn't stopped, then darkness is going to consume everything, and then like Table of Heroes failed, everyone failed, and darkness is everywhere, and I don't know, like I never really thought about what would happen if there are our four remaining heroes if they were perma defeated, Kista Zen, King Paragon wins, darkness reigns, and what would that look like? The apocalypse? Everyone out for themselves, trying to survive, while the darkness is an ever-looming threat. The Angel Totem closes the book. How? He doesn't. And the core four watch on in shock. If you think about it, that's a short book. That is the story of magic. It updates every now and then on its own. Not many people know of it. It's like that Wikipedia page with all these anonymous editors. It updates every now and then, we just don't know who's doing it. It's something natural that has been around ever since magic first came to this land. Man, all this stuff is so old. Like, magic first came to this land a long time ago. That's a really old book. And the table is really old. Man, how come no, termites have eaten the table yet? It's made of wood, right? We saw the picture of it. Pretty sure it's a wooden table. Ever since I was brought into existence. Insert you making an I'm in existence joke. I know you did, don't lie. Yeah, I know, because that's where. Oh, I already forgot what totem it was, but yeah, I'm in existence. That line, it's so. Uh, oh my gosh. It's unfortunate how there will be a very large group of people that will not understand that. And it makes me sad, but at the same time, it is what it is. Then again, here, I could do one better. One that came at was it the start of, it should be season 6, episode 1. Cake! Uh, eh, good times. That isn't the only magical book there is. All heroes also have their own books that document their lives. That's a lot of books. Man, where is this all kept? Actually, this probably is the library at the Castle of Heroes. That would be the most logical sense. Unless, they just appear when when it's time to read. I don't know. Flame's eyes widen. Oh my goodness. Sebastian shakes his head in disbelief. I never thought totems played such a big roles in history. I didn't think so either. When the totems were first introduced, good and bad totem way back then, I was like, why? Okay. Um, Star realizes something. So Paragon isn't my great 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 etc. grandpa. He's my great great etc. uncle. Should be two commas, right? It's comma after great. Or is it hyphen? I'm pretty sure it's a comma. Yeah, even you put comma. So I'm pretty sure it's a comma. Um, and all these people are related. Remember Hour? Yeah, I remember when, there's the theory video, before it was officially confirmed, but the theory of how Hour was related to Sebastian by, they were pulling out all these different details from the series, and I was like, I never, I never put them together. I never thought about that. And then, it was confirmed at like a panel, and then, eventually it was confirmed within the series itself. Man, so much history, so much stuff has happened. The series is so in depth over its entire existence. Um, uh, do, 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 do. This is all kind of confusing, but it feels good to know so much. Wow, so Kista Zed was your daughter the whole time? You knew about literally everything and you didn't tell us anything. I'm telling you, see, even they're getting mad at Table of Heroes. Plot twist, once this is all over, Zelinator comes up with an axe, chops him up, and uses him for firewood. Nah, I wouldn't be that rude. I'd chop him up, make a shield out of him, mount it on the wall. Now that would be an excellent way to go. Of course, it wouldn't all be shield. Don't know what I would do with the extra parts. Anyway, the Angel Totem, Table of Heroes size. I'm gonna keep calling him Table of Heroes because right now he's a table. Until he's not a table, if that ever happens. Oh wait, you said angle. The Angle Totem. The Angel Totem of Heroes. The Angel Totem Table of Heroes. I'm gonna keep calling him table until he's not a table. I apologize. It was your journey. I had to let you find out on your own. Yeah, you had to let him find out on your own until, today comes and they're like, fine, I'll tell you everything. And yes, Kista, she's my daughter. Or at least she was. I thought at least was 2 words. I don't even know who she is now. Yeah, how many years have gone by? How many generations? It listed, let's see, there was I don't know how long it was beforehand, but then there was Era of Darkness, then Era of, I forgot what it was. This is when the last heroes were. And then there's the Era of Wonder. So there's like 300. I don't know. Several hundred years. That's all that matters. No, sorry. Well, yeah, several hundred that was listed here. Thousands of years in total. Anyways, you said angle again. Was it like a protractor? A right angle or something? Um, Flame outstretches his hand. Can we see our books? Are we gonna read all those now? We just got through one book and I already used up a lot of time. I feel like this would be a, they read and they find out more, or like that's gonna be the next several thingies. Either one's fine with me. Yeah, this was the overall stuff. The angel totem makes each of their books appears in front of them, including Frost's. Who's it like group read for Frost's? Though they all look through their books, Flame takes a look at him. Wait, what? They all look through their books. Flame takes a look at him. Is it him or his? I think it would be his. Either way, that's kind of it's unnecessary. Like you're saying they all, unless he's like looking at something else, but it says they also. It's kind of unnecessary to restate. It can be implied. Once upon a time, the prince of the water kingdom, Flame, was born. See, right off the first sentence, you could very easily infer that Flame was looking at his because you state they all look at their books. This one's about Flame, therefore Flame is reading his book. You didn't see my hand motions. I put like a shrug, but both my hands moved up and down. Little did he know. Oh my gosh, little did he know. They kept reading and reading, and the angel totem was reminded of his daughter. He didn't admit it, but it was the first time that he had even read that book. He didn't want to be reminded, so he avoided reading? Wow, that's some commitment right there. I couldn't do it. How does he know the book gets updated if he never reads it? Oh well. He remembers that his wife's probably still waiting. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized. Hold up. I'm gonna mark that there. But ever since that, yeah, because this was all centered. Everything before this was left justified, right? Yeah, it was all justified left. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna need to fix that. I'll fix that after I'm done reading. Yeah, the book. I'm gonna leave the book justified center. I just don't think you ever fixed it afterwards. Unless the book is not supposed to be justified center, in which case you could fix that yourself. But I'm fixing all the text afterwards. I, it, I didn't even think about that until it just popped up out of nowhere. Where was it? There you go. Flame grabbed Frost's. He finished fast. He started to read in hopes that Frost's story wasn't over. He flipped through the pages and got to the last page. Although Frost betrayed them, he found his way back to himself. He found his way back to the light. He died sacrificing himself for those he loves. And that's beautiful. Frost really was a hero. And that's the end to Frost's story. That really is the end. That book is complete. No more updates. Flame closes the book in hesitance and hands the book back to the angel totem. How do you hand it back to him? Don't you just set it on top? They all look down, and Flame's eyes tear up. The angel totem nods his head. What? Okay, I don't get it anymore. He's still a table, right? How does he nod his... I'm gonna keep that as is. I'm gonna need you to figure out your logic, though, because I can't do it. I can't figure out that one. The love totem and the peace totem walked to them. Were they just like walking around the corner or something? What were they doing all this time? I don't know. They were doing totem stuff. They were doing totem business. The peace totem is in shock. Wait, so if you're the angel totem and you created the good and bad totem, doesn't that mean that you're kinda like our dad? Yeah, they just kinda, came into existence, right? Um, I said that you're kinda like our dad, right? I said that out loud, not in my head. I've done that before, where I was like, did I say that in my head or did I actually say it out loud? I don't know, because I thought it. I just don't know if I verbalized it. Um, that's weird. It's a whole family. So it's not a species, it's a family. Interesting. Do. Wouldn't that mean that Kista Zed is kinda like our sister? Uh, half sister? Probably is more fitting. Um, these totems just came into existence, love and peace, I believe. Um, this is I don't know. I can't figure it out. Well, kind of. We'll continue this conversation later. Okay, that's fine by me. Okay, listen up everyone. No time to waste. Love totem, peace totem, mash your magic together. They did the monster mash. The monster mash. Man, that's an old song. It's time for a new totem. You're gonna make another one? Please say the line. Please say the line. Sebastian's jaw drops to the floor. How many plot twists can you give us in one day? Come on, man. Give us a second to digest. Agreed. The peace and love totem mash their magic together, and the room is filled with a magenta smoke. Oh wait, I have an idea. Magenta colored. Yes, I'm American. You can add the U if you want. Everyone coughs before the smoke goes away and they open their eyes. I'll dismiss that. Um, I guess it does not like the A. Alright, fine then. Careful, just don't cough in public. Um, they see a new totem standing before them. I'm in existence! Hold on, let's. JK, let's try that again. Okay, if we're gonna try that again, I guess I'll take it all out. You're playing tricks on me, because you know I've got to read this stuff. Hello there. The angel totem smiles. How does he smile if he's... Okay, I could get the naming difference. I've got no problem calling him the angel totem. But he's still a table, right? You don't say anything that he's like turned back into a human or anything. So how does a table smile? Hey there. And who might you be? I'm the resilience totem. No matter what obstacles come your way, you'll stand strong. You'll be resilient. They smile as hope is restored to them all. So odd. They finally feel ready for the final battle. The final battle. Whoa. It's that time? Why don't you just make an army of totems? Why don't you just mass produce a bunch of them? Like, you could have. But love and peace make resilience. Hmm. So I don't know. I don't know how the whole creation of totems comes to be about, because, Angel Totem, he kind of came from a star that exploded. All the others came from other totems. Well, I guess that's what I have to say for this time. Is that the end of this one? I think it is. I'm gonna justify it all left. Chapter 13, episode 23, Life. Man, we're learning a lot of stuff about totems. Because the last one was, mainly centered on Keys to Z and all that jazz. This one was mainly about totems and how it all just comes together. Man, this is very in-depth. It's right about how the FNAF story was feeling back when, 4 came out. And then, the games just kept coming, and then, books started popping up, and oh my gosh. I hope it never gets to that point. I don't think it will, just because, it's almost over. But yeah, that is it for this time, this episode, this chapter, and all this fun jazz. So until next time,